said, well, I'm going to go out and kill me a bear, the interpretation means you're going to go out and take a life. But it was to find a grizzly bear that had reached his maximum, that had led his people in a very positive way, but had gotten to the time when he got older, when another one of his kind chose to take over. And so he was relegated to moving and being single. For the first time in the grizzly bear's life, he'd be single. Unlike bears nowadays that are solitude, you never see them really together. They don't run together, they don't live together. You may see them in movies or whatever, fishing at the lake, and they got there at different directions, and they'll leave in different directions. But the California grizzly bear was extremely social, to where you could see the leader in the tribe would be the first one, and then as the pecking order would go, you'd have a couple males in front, and then you'd have the females, and then the young cubs, and then you'd have more males in the back. And it was already set up that way, just like a family. So when this fight for leadership is through, and the young one takes over, and the older one has to lead. But his life is not over with. A very powerful individual who had knowledge of the land, who understood, because it's his medicine, the bear plants, the cyclic plants of what happens when you take these plants in all through the year. This is the only bear that did not hibernate. In California, they slept at night. And so we believed as humans that the grizzly bear could dream, and dream far better than the humans. And all of his potential is left in this life, in his golden years, or silver years as they say. But instead of it being wasted, that's when a chosen individual in the tribe would seek out this individual, seek out this bear. And he would have to track him. He would have to know what diet he's on. He would have to know what kind of health he was in. And then there would come a time when these two would meet, and some say that they would ask them in whatever language the native had, "Have you dreamt of me? I have come." Now, if the grizzly bear was able to kill this human, then it wasn't a gift for him. But if the human could take this bear, take this bear's life, and recycle it, it would be his, but not as something you hang on the wall. They would use that bear's spirit to heal their people. Everything that the bear had been doing with the bears, now the human would do it to the bear, to the humans. And so in every group, you'd have a bear dancer that would be a part of the healing process and the leadership roles. This person did not take the bear, and the concept of taking the life wasn't there. He would be perpetuating that life. It was very important to do. And all these native leaders took on this responsibility sooner or later in their life, because each group needed a bear dancer. And so all in California, every single group had a affinity, a good, strong connection to the grizzly bear. As we get up in the foothills, it starts to change a little bit. But as down in the valley, in the small foothills here, it's Huuk all day, Huuk all day, Bota, Umu, Jenny. I can see the bear on the hill. And that means no matter where you are, you see that there's still judgment, there's still leadership. You can still see the bear medicine. It doesn't say medicine in the song, but this is a song from the Bondama, which means the bear falls down. And they sing that. I can't sing it out loud here because it's all done in privacy. You never see the bear. This is protection and authority that's done not through what we see now, where you have to see your doctor, you have to see his little badge, you have to see his certification. You knew the certification of the bear doctor because he went out and he had to find this bear. He had to take it down, and then he had to care for the bear, for his people. And so there was a whole reputation that was built on just understanding that. This individual, all through the different areas in the Sacramento area, would develop a relationship with the bear that was far out unknown to Western thinking. European thinking hadn't. They had medicine like this years ago in Europe, but those had been killed out. We find governments that do that. I think the Romans were the last ones to kill out some of the bear people in Europe. But in California, they still existed for a long time. My great uncle, as far as we know, was the last bear dancer in the Sacramento Valley. So my lineage is still just one person in between. How many with yours? About 7? So yeah. But it doesn't change anything. It does not change anything. We still have that respect and honor for our relatives. But it's hard to understand what we're honoring. So that's why I wanted to explain that. As a bear dancer, you are giving the responsibility of your tribe to care for. And so Coppa Hembo would have been caring for his tribe in that very authentic native way. And that's using the spirit of the bear to heal his people and to govern his people. We didn't have a police force. We didn't have laws like we have now, but we had the medicine of the bear. And so if the bear caught you off somewhere and you'd been doing something wrong and he killed you, that individual that was wearing that bear skin had to make it back to his home, take off that bear skin, and that was it. Everybody in the tribe knew who did it, but they just said, well, that was the bear. But they had grown up with that. That's just a small aspect of the respect and understanding that had developed over thousands of years towards the bear medicine. When the healing is done, it's not done in a crowd. That's why the singing of the bear is never done out in the sun, out in the open. When the bears come in to dance, it's as dark as the night will get. And the closest you can get is just to feel the hairs off the bear as it touches you. And the native people years ago used to say that was the whole importance of the dance, was to be able to feel that bear, to be that close to something so powerful. So it was more than just a symbolic presentation of the skinned animal. We as humans were taking that animal, sending our aura, our energy through it, and magnifying it through the bear, so that we became more powerful, more dedicated. It was not a cultural practice to make big, signs about what we were doing. And that's why it's still, as today, an underground movement that the bear dancers travel up and down California. I myself am restricted to just a certain 3 valleys. And that's it. I can go from these valleys down to the Sacramento Valley, the river, and then back up. That's as far as I can go. I can't go any further. But just like him, there comes a time when he passes on everything that he has to the next generation. In my sense, because I've now replaced one of my legs, I'm not capable of dancing. I will never be able to dance again, so I have to pass that on. That practice, that cultural understanding and appreciation and practice is still going on. The stone represents like a card that someone writes and sends to somebody. And then that person can look at it whenever they want. It's here for a long time. but the intent and the purpose behind it gets lost. The purpose was to honor not so much the human, because he is gone. We don't remember his actions other than the oral stories that can only be repeated through families' loving memory. But the position, once you wrote that name down, Coppa Hembo, which I very honestly doubt that was his name when he was first born, because as natives, we grow into manhood, we grow into our name. My great uncle did not receive his name until he was about 15, 16. I, being slower, I didn't get my name until I was 22. I did not understand what it meant until I was 40. So the change, that change of understanding is always going to be there. We're always going to see things differently and change, but the essential fact that this is to honor not just a human being, but a position that this man held, that all of us should be able to recognize, because he cared for his people enough to where he would pit himself against one of the greatest land mammals that ever walked, at least 12 feet tall. These grizzly bears are gone now. They're gone because they were so big that people from all over were coming to California to kill them because they were big. And that made you feel big. Their claws, not the little tiny bear claws, but 6 to 7 inches long, each one. Huge. Not only that, this is the people that taught us how to dance. The bear dance is not from human design. We even have the history, the oral history of the bears coming to the oak trees and dancing around the oak trees. Why? I don't know. That was never passed down. But they would, at the end, they would all run up and yell at the oak tree and then back up. We don't know what they were doing, but we do know that it was their cultural practice. And so we repeated it, not changing it because we didn't really understand its principles. Many of the history that we have, that we hold dear to ourselves, is personal just to ourselves. So when someone views it differently, it kind of hurts us. It mars our memory of what was told to us, was given to us as a special present, as a special story, that family history that was given to us by our mothers or fathers or uncles that have passed away. And that's the only thing that we can really cling to, is these stories, which makes them even more powerful and more important. And to honor those stories, we don't want to change them. We want to be able to hold on to them as they were intact. And that's what makes a cultural practice. That cultural practice is very strong in California, and so we're very sensitive about the bear. This individual ruled his people with the right spirit, or it would have been documented. They would have had stories about what he did wrong. We have stories about leaders that have done wrong, and he's not honored. You know, we have the stories of, this chief trying to poison Jim Dick.
Come in our roundhouses, and all the other animal spirits will follow behind. The Yapi Yako, we say, Kaneska, that spirit of the eagle, he would be the only one. Sometimes he'll fly in and he'll set up on the west post of our roundhouses, and he would give direction to that bear. Doctor here, doctor there. This help this person, help that. And that's what so these people of the society, of the bear society, the bear is a powerful thing. And there is a powerful transformation that we go from human spirit into the Azumate, Sulik Mukku, and then back again to our human. And so this is why we always have to protect ourselves, going back and forth in the spirit world and back into the physical world as we see and know each other now. And that was one of our biggest inner abilities to do as a people. And so when we see people that carry this on for the people, they would be honored in that way, as was said here. And so that way we're going to honor a dance for him and to hope that his spirit and the helping of the people through the teachings for all of us, and that's why we're still here today. So hope.